Power isn't just about what you offer, it's about how you control access to it. The harsh truth is this: the more available you are, the more invisible you become. Constant presence dulls impact. It turns what could have been rare and meaningful into background noise. Think about the faces you pass daily, the ones always there. Do you admire them, or do they fade into the scenery of your life? Now think of the person who appears rarely, but when they do, their presence shifts the room. That's the art of controlled scarcity. Machiavelli understood this human weakness. Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. People respect what they see as rare, and if they see you too often, they stop seeing you at all. Constant presence invites familiarity. And as the saying goes, familiarity breeds contempt. When you're always there, always giving, always visible, you give them no reason to look closer, no reason to wonder, no reason to value. The first rule of presence: appear less, mean more. But this isn't about disappearing, it's about mastering when and how you show up. The question is, how do you shape a presence that feels rare without vanishing? That's where true strategy begins. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. Machiavelli understood that perception is everything. It's not just who you are that commands respect, it's who you appear to be. The world rarely looks deeper than the surface, and so, to hold power, you must master the art of appearing rare, deliberate, untouchable. What does this mean? It means you show up in ways that feel intentional, not accidental. Your presence is felt not because it is constant, but because it is chosen. You create the sense that when you appear, it matters. When you are always present, your value is assumed. When you control your appearances, your value is imagined. People start to fill in the gaps of your absence with stories of your strength. Your silence speaks, your distance builds intrigue. Machiavelli's wisdom wasn't about hiding, it was about shaping perception. The wise don't disappear, they control the narrative of their presence. They make people wonder what they're thinking, what they're planning, what they might do next. The key is this: don't just be rare, look rare, feel rare. But how do you turn this into a strategy? How do you control presence without becoming invisible? That's where the art of selective presence begins. The wise man does at once what the fool does finally. Selective presence is the art of showing up in a way that feels rare, but never random. It means being intentional about when, where, and how you appear. The fool is everywhere, seeking attention. The wise appear only when it matters, and that is what makes their presence unforgettable. Machiavelli's rulers understood this. They didn't just rule through power. They ruled through the illusion of scarcity. When a leader shows up rarely, their words carry more weight. Their silence feels full of meaning. Their smallest gesture feels significant. In your own life, this means don't be everywhere. Choose your moments. Don't speak always. Make your words matter. Don't offer yourself too easily. Let your presence feel earned. Selective presence is not about hiding, it's about strategy. When you control your availability, you force people to pay attention. You turn ordinary interactions into moments of impact. But this strategy requires discipline. You must resist the urge to over-explain, to over-please, to over-appear. You must learn to be at ease with silence and powerful in restraint. The question is, How does this scarcity not only create desire, but deepen respect? That's where the real magic of controlled distance begins. Men desire novelty, yet are enslaved by the familiar. Humans are wired to crave what feels just out of reach. We desire what seems rare, what forces us to lean forward, to wonder, to long. This is the secret behind controlled scarcity. It turns presence into something people chase, rather than something they take for granted. When your presence is constant, people stop noticing. But when you control it, they start waiting for it. Your distance creates curiosity. Your absence creates space for imagination. People begin to fill that space with stories that often exaggerate your strength, your wisdom, your importance. This is not manipulation. This is understanding human nature. Machiavelli understood that a ruler's power didn't only come from what he did, but from what people believed he could do. The same applies to you. Controlled scarcity lets people project greatness onto you. When you are less seen, you are more imagined, and imagination builds desire far faster than familiarity. But here's the challenge. Scarcity must be balanced. Too little presence, and you are forgotten. Too much, and you are dismissed. The art lies in walking that line, showing up just enough to stay in their minds, but not so much that they stop valuing you. And so we arrive at the next truth. If scarcity builds desire, how do we turn desire into lasting respect? The vulgar crowd always is taken by appearances, and the world is composed of the vulgar. Scarcity may create desire, but desire alone does not build respect. Respect is forged in how you use the moments when you do appear. When your presence is rare, every word, every gesture, every action carries extra weight. People lean in, they listen, they remember. This is where influence is born, not from constant reminders of who you are, but from rare moments where your impact is undeniable. When you speak, your words echo because they are not lost in a flood of noise. When you act, it matters because it is not expected. Machiavelli understood the power of strategic action. The wise ruler didn't act often, but when he did, the world watched. Oh. The wise man does at once what the fool does finally. Oh. The fool exhausts himself trying to be seen. The wise make their moments unforgettable. So, when you appear, be deliberate, be meaningful, leave a mark. Influence is not about being everywhere. It's about making the few times you are seen impossible to ignore. But here lies the ultimate art, turning this influence into true power. Power that does not depend on their respect, but stands firm in itself. How does one master that? That is the final step. Men rise from one ambition to another. First, they seek to secure themselves against attack, and then they attack others. The final mastery is this: to exist beyond the game of seeking respect. You stop asking for it. You stop shaping yourself to fit what others admire. And in doing so, you command a deeper form of respect, the kind rooted in authenticity. Machiavelli knew that the strongest leaders were those who moved from defensive survival to active command. They didn't just protect their image, they shaped the world around them. True power comes when you no longer think in terms of what others owe you. You stop waiting for validation. You stop performing for approval. You start acting from your own code. When you no longer seek applause, you free yourself. You can speak plainly. You can walk away without anger. You can stand alone without fear. And paradoxically, that's when people look closer. That's when your presence lingers longer than noise ever could. The final challenge isn't to disappear. It's to be so grounded in your own worth that their opinions lose power over you. So the ultimate question remains, do you live to be seen, or do you live by what you see in yourself?